and I sideways walk, try to pick myself up. Red blooms pop, but aftershock still at a deadlock.
Good morning, and welcome to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter. I'm glad you've made the connection and are with us today. I'm Lori Fitz, your host, and the goal of our show is to explore a wide range of topics that challenge us to see ourselves, our community, and the world around us in ways that gets us thinking, gets us connected, and perhaps inspired or challenged to do just a bit more because we made the connection. Well, COVID and all of our crisis challenges, the disasters, are kind of like a social earthquake. And I'm sensing tectonic plate shifts. And Connections likes to look for the cool changes that's going on and what's happening. And there's some cool things happening in next gen, the next generation. The world has been shaken up, and the next gen, they have a new take on it all. And Connections is all about giving the opportunity to sharing a voice of new ideas, connecting, and making a difference. So I have my terrific co-host today, Rick Bernardo, who is a musician, teaches business ethics, comedian, and my co-host. How are you today?
I am waking up. That happens for about the first 6 hours of the day, at least, right? But it's raining out. That helped a little bit. Rain down my neck. Not snow. That's a breakthrough.
That is a
right?
breakthrough. Rick, on April 9th, you brought to Connections' attention this amazing group, amazing organization, Rock the Cause. And if you've missed that show on April 9th, please go and give a listen to it on our podcast. And you can get to it by going to am950radio.com and then just look for the Connections icon. Yeah. So we decided to bring Rock the Cause back.
Yes, not every single person, but Scotty Harold, who is CEO and founder of the music and nonprofit Rock the Cause. So I'll say a little bit about him, but go and listen to that recording from the April 9th broadcast on the Connections Radio site at AM950's site in turn. But Scotty is an award-winning community-based nonprofit organization CEO, and it's a record label distributed by Sony, The Orchard. They've worked with some of today's most beloved artists, and they've sold over 500,000 singles with music releases that have been streamed over 30 million times. I have to count all the zeros in that. That's beyond my brain. Rock the Cause works daily with High School for Recording Arts here in Minnesota to mentor underserved populations of youth about careers in the arts and media occupations industry, which is growing fast, all while students earn a high school diploma. Scott currently leads the Business of Music and Media and Vocational Discovery departments at High School for Recording Arts, and he's an in-demand guest speaker at Education Conference. He's also a performing musician, producer, and music encyclopedia. Currently, he's writing his memoirs, a book entitled Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll, and Philanthropy. And Scotty, good morning.
Hey, good morning,
Good
Charlie.
morning.
Good morning.
We could do the whole segment just on Scotty's background, but we get to chat with Scotty.
We got so much other cool stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
We do. And Scotty, we want to thank you for bringing another guest today.
Of course, I'm glad to have my guest here today. Today, joining me in the studio is my friend and business partner and fellow artist, Kelsey McMahon, who is a Juilliard graduate, an actress, and a musician, and she is also known by as Mousy Music, and you'll be hearing more about her on the show and she'll be talking with you today and also playing some of her music, and very interesting person, so you're going to want to stick around and hear that.
Tremendous. Thank you, and welcome to both of you. So for those that have not heard of Rock the Cause, why don't you share a couple of the folks that have done some songs on Rock the Cause and where they donated to and why Rock the Cause is so important?
Yeah, sure. We're a nonprofit organization. We've been around for 15 years. I founded the organization 15 years ago, and we started out just doing concert events where the proceeds from the ticket sales went to charitable organizations. We've done over 85 live concert events, and then we transformed into a record label. And that record label has over 40 releases that have been released by Sony. We've worked with everybody from My Morning Jacket to Lissy to Sharon Van Etten to BB Winans. We worked with Zach Sobiek on the very special Clouds project. We've done a lot of just cool stuff through that record label and really have been able to make both a direct impact and residual impact on charitable causes around the world. And from now and there, we just kind of moved more into educating and teaching young people about occupations in the media industry and really, diving more into working with underserved populations of youth and the community.
The music that we heard coming into the radio show was Cassandra Cole.
Yeah.
Cool album release coming up.
Yeah, we are so excited. It's Cassandra Cole Steps. It's her debut record on the Rock the Cause record label. We are dropping worldwide on all digital platforms May 6th. There is pre-save available right now on our website, irockthecause.org, and her music video is out there. And this is a really beautiful and dynamic record, and I just encourage everybody to listen to it. It's awesome.
Mousy,
Hi.
Hi there. We're glad you're here today.
Thank you for having me.
Actor, musician, many different talents that you're bringing to bear.
Lots of hats.
Lots of hats and being able to wear multiple
Yeah,
hats.
they don't always match, but I kind of dig it that way.
So did you work on Cassandra Cole's?
I did. I did a lot of the writing for the EPK, which is the press, how we talk about soliciting her music and promoting it. Yeah, her album, I mean, she has just such an incredible story about the deep connection she has with her mentality, how she approached anxiety, the ups and downs of it. And it's really surprising because it's kind of a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, yeah, she really went through some very dark, as we all did through COVID, depression and loss, etc. But she transformed it into this the album is just a fantastic musical journey that runs, as you wrote so well in her press kit, the ethos of an anxious mind and the exploration of an organized breakdown. And it really dives into that feeling of loss and sorrow and despair during COVID, but coming out into something that's beautiful and extraordinary and empowering. I mean, it's a powerhouse record. It really is.
Was this your first time that you worked on someone else's piece and a writer?
No, I've always had a love affair with words. I have an amazing mother that loves to read, so yeah, and it's probably actually the reason why I got into acting too. So as I was sort of looking for more and more to contribute to Rock the Cause, writing has just kind of, that's been my home. That's my place.
She's very good at it too. Many press kits that she's put together.
Yes, and many more to come.
And more to come, yeah.
And I think you mentioned that Cassandra is donating a portion of her funds to mental health.
Yeah, I don't think she's centered on a cause yet, but she intends to direct it to mental health causes.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about where folks can go if they want to be part of the album release on the 7th?
Yeah, sure. Cassandra Cole will be live in concert, and it's going to be an incredible night of music. It's going to be everything from, roots music to hip hop to jazz to alternative rock. I mean, it's beautiful. But it will be at KJ's Hideaway in historic downtown St. Paul on Saturday, May 7th at 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale. You can go to CassandraColeMusic.com or just Google Cassandra Cole, and you'll see information about her concert coming up. You can also go to irockthecause.org for the pre-save link for her record, and ticket information is there as well. And it's going to be just an incredible night of music, and she is bringing just an extraordinary lineup of talent with her that night. It's going to be awesome.
Well, this show is live today on April 30th.
Yep.
However, we are going to be replaying this. So if you're listening to it on May 7th.
May 7th,
This
yes.
is the last of the April shows. If you're listening and it's May 7th, that means it's tonight.
Tonight.
And cool show to go take a look at.
Yeah.
Cool music. And this is her debut album,
This is her debut album. She's done singles in the past, but this is a complete work of art from her. And I say it's a work of art because it really is. It's incredible.
And if they just show up at the do they have to buy tickets ahead of time, or can they just show up?
I wouldn't say just show up. I'd say reserve your place now because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, KJ's Hideaway it's the old artist quarter. It's a smaller room. I grab tickets now.
Yeah.
Terrific. Well, we'll hear a little bit of Cassandra's music going out.
This is Upside Down.
Upside Down.
That's the name of the song.
And sometimes us. Sometimes describes the show itself. And the music is coming in just a moment. I see the producer nodding, and so we'll hear it coming up any moment now.
Yeah, Cassandra Cole.
There we go. Cassandra Cole. May 7th, you can hear it live. And come say hello to the producers who'll be there.
Heels, but the cracks won't go through.
Yeah, yeah. You're the center of my universe. But I can't see you. No, I can't see you.
And welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where we talk about ideas that matter, and we listen to sometimes some of the neatest and coolest songs like that just one. I
That
love
was
it.
called Black Hole. That's the name of that song.
It's a cool
I've seen.
song.
I saw the video more than once because I kept watching it.
Well, thank you.
I was mesmerized.
And you're listening to Connections Radio Show. I'm Lori Fitz, your host. My co-host is Rick Bernardo, who is a musician. He teaches business ethics. He's a comedian and a terrific co-host that brings wonderful guests. And on April 9th, we had a terrific show on Rock the Cause. And Rick had invited Scotty Harold.
Scotty Harold. Yeah, and he's here, he's with us here again today.
And he just showed up. No, we invited him.
Just showed up front door with coffee in
We
the
found
rain.
him. We found him in the rain, and we took
wandering
pity.
around the swamp.
Yeah.
Exactly. It happens, but it's all about public service.
Right.
And so, so again, I brought Scotty Harold, and you just heard his voice a little bit there. He's founder and CEO of Rock the Cause. I first came across Rock the Cause and Scotty at a glitter party in the 80s when they were doing most of their fundraising, the way I understand it, through events. For nonprofits, which was the whole idea to rock the cause anyway. And so say a little more about what you're doing now with that transition. We talked about it, and you brought Kelsey McMahon, otherwise known as Mousy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I brought Kelsey with us today, who is also part of the Rock the Cause team, and it's great to introduce her today because it's important to know that there's another wizard behind the curtain, so to speak, at Rock the Cause. And, she's here, and, we just released her song, Black Hole, last fall. There's an incredible music video that you can also see on the Rock the Cause website, Vivo, YouTube, etc. iRockTheCause.org. And Mousy, that's Mousy's Black Hole, and I encourage everybody to go out and download and stream it. But, what we're doing today is we continue to expand the record label. And Kelsey's doing some really cool stuff with Television License and Sync that she'll tell you all about here in a little bit. Yeah.
And I love her title.
Yeah.
Would you like to share that with us? Your title,
Empress.
Empress.
At Rock the Cause.
That's right. You own it.
Yeah, we like to be creative, keep
We
it
like
fun.
to be creative. Keep it fun. Yeah.
So the song that we were listening to was one that you have written,
Yes.
and it's a soulful neo soul. Is that how you
Yeah,
refer
I would
to it as?
describe it that way. Yeah, very much so. I grew up with a lot of soul. So that's a huge background for me. My father covered a soul band. So yeah.
Your voice just goes to a different place. It's just
Thank you.
amazing and rich, and it's exciting to have a new artist.
Thank you.
That brings soul. Now I love that it's an exploration of a magnetic addiction to a relationship that's inherently destructive.
Yeah.
So it's a destructive,
Yeah.
but somehow there's something that pulls you in.
Well, I've been there before, and I think a lot of other people have, where it's like, it's no good. It's not good for you, but you accept, your fate,
Yeah. And it hurts. I mean, you can feel that in your song.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
there's a pain, and yet there's also
for me personally, when I've had more difficult, dark times like that, it's usually the first phase. It's what it takes to realize where you are, and no one talks about that. You know, there's a stage where you realize what's different, and you
And yet
have
you're
to
s-
consciously make the decision to change your life.
in that song. Have you made the decision, or are you in that
No.
moment where it's the discovery
It's the discovery.
and the pain of the discovery? Like, this just isn't working,
Yeah.
and that hurts.
Yeah, it isn't working, and I'm sticking to it. You know, that's where it's at. It's a moment. It's not a resolution. It's the beginning of a journey.
I love that you're also an actor, and you've been nominated for Best Actress Award,
Yeah.
Best Female Actor Award.
So let me talk a little bit about that. I was recently in this movie called Sold Out. And it was premiered at the Twin Cities Film Festival last fall. So it just came out in 2021, but it's earned quite a few laurels. So we got into this Australian film festival called AFIN, and I was nominated for Best Actress.
That's wonderful. Not many people in their first time out on a film get nominated for
I
Best
know.
Actress.
I honestly didn't expect it. And quarantine times, obviously we didn't fly out to Australia, and especially given their COVID situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they had us tape acceptance speeches in case we won. I did not win, spoiler alert, but see the movie anyway.
Absolutely. And you can go to Amazon Prime.
Yes, it's on Amazon
Awesome.
Prime and Tubi. It's a streaming platform.
Oh yeah.
The other thing that's cool about it, it was filmed here in Minnesota, right?
Yes. Yes, it was. And if you see it, you'll be able to see a lot of really iconic landmarks. I believe First Ave comes up right away. So, yeah.
And for your social cause, you chose Honor the Earth.
Sure did, yeah. Actually, Honor the Earth happened to be... it was probably one of the first press kits that I wrote for.
Yeah.
We did a song in partnership with them for their cause.
Yeah.
And it was about water and honor the earth.
Was that with Bonnie Raitt?
That was the Bonnie Raitt, track, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just really inspired by their cause and their organization, and I really want to contribute to it. These people are fighting for, water, our water.
And they've had horrible things that have happened in
Yeah.
terms of
Exactly.
having promises be made
Yeah.
for centuries and
Having land taken away from them, and all they want is clean water.
and there's been already spills and corruption.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
It is a heartbreak, but wonderful that you've chosen that. And I so like that Rock the Cause creates an awareness of things that are important for the artist.
Yeah, it's really important for us to do that because we want to make that connection between the artist and the cause. And we really try to build a beautiful platform for an artist to be able to give to a cause, introduce their fans to a cause, or even develop new fans while everybody's discovering the music and the cause together.
Absolutely.
And sometimes with the streams and the downloads, what ends up happening, we hear a lot with the charities, is it's not even so much the money that they get from the streams and downloads from us, but the residual impact is huge. They start getting direct donations because of the work that we do with these artists and this music.
The other thing I wanted to bring up with you, Mousy,
Yes.
is your name Mousy and how you've
Of course.
it's sort of a counterintuitive name. And when I first heard your music and that you are calling yourself Mousy, I had this vision of this mouse that was taking a fist to the cat.
Yeah.
And just like, no.
Yeah, you're spot on. It's about being the mouse that roared.
Absolutely. And a good right hook. You
Yeah.
know?
Thank you. Mean right hook.
But this is something that you have been either labeled or been around you, and you
it's a negative adjective that's been attached to me throughout my whole life. Even so, I studied drama at Juilliard as well, and even there, I was described by faculty members as mousy. So.
And yet you have this energy, and you have this powerful voice that takes you to a whole different, I mean, we're talking planetary, different world. And it's not mousy at all.
Thank you. I wanted to juxtapose the adjective and kind of take control of it. I guess kind of how Batman took his name, you know. I'm not afraid of mice, but it's a negative adjective
Mousy.
that I wanted to.
I'm now seeing Mouse Woman.
Scours the city at night.
With a long tail that flips back and forth.
There was
Watch
there was a
out.
scene. Who are you? I'm Mousy.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. All right, now that we've completely, honored,
Gone off the rails.
gone off the rails, as well as honored the counterintuitiveness of Mousy, and now have an action figure as well to go with you. We will need to wrap up this second segment, but we wanted to make sure that we spotlighted the work that you're doing. You are next gen for us. You are where our music and hopes and dreams are going. And I love that Rock the Cause works with young people and creates opportunities for us to see the future
Yeah, thank you.
and what that looks like.
That's what it's all about, man. It's about being of service. And, I'm 54 years old. I won't be here in 30 years. Maybe
30.
Maybe 30. Well, maybe I'm being pessimistic. I might live forever. Who knows? I might secretly be a vampire. You don't know. But, but man, it's about the next 7 generations. I have young people and children in my life that I know it doesn't sound trite, but I know it's fun. I don't want them to inherit the world that I inherited.
Yeah.
I came in during the civil rights movement. I came in during Vietnam. I came in during, I grew up in Nebraska when the FBI was raiding, Fort Robinson and Chadron because the indigenous peoples were doing the ghost dance. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've been seeing the same crap for 54 years, and I'm tired of it, and I'm done with it.
Well, time for that tectonic shift.
It is.
And the young people have a new vision.
Yes,
and
they
it's time
do.
to start listening.
It is.
So let's listen to Mousy's song as we go out of our second segment. And we'll be right back. Stay with us. There's more to talk about. There's some exciting things that happened in Mississippi that we must tell you about. We'll be right back after a few commercials.
Dark mystery. There's no, 'cause you're a black hole.
Welcome back. And that was a black hole that you were listening to. And it's a great song.
Actually watched the video, listened to the music. This is Rick. I don't know if you heard some of those words before that, but I was just playing silent for a moment. Anyway, Black Hole, the recording and the video will suck you in, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the idea. That's the hope.
But it's also I really got I always because I taught ethics and theology, I've talked to a lot of leaders from Islam and Judaism. Their central theme for the names of those religions is wrestling. And if you're not wrestling with your destiny or your purpose, you're not really on the path in those traditions. So that just came to mind. Man.
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
And
That's
true.
kind of beautiful in a way.
Yeah,
And
hard
you
and beautiful. Yeah.
Are listening to Connections Radio Show. You came in the middle of a conversation, which
Yes.
we're glad that you did.
We're still Connections Radio. Yes.
We still chat. I'm Lori Fitz, your host. Rick Bernardo is my co-host.
And we've been joined by Scotty Harold from Rock the Cause. Yeah, he was talking, and also Kelsey McMahon, who is the mousy music behind the Black Hole song that we just heard. Scotty's CEO and founder of Rock the Cause, and Kelsey is Empress of What's a shorter licensing, writing, communications, Empress? You're what?
I think I just sort of blanket my job title as an administrative
You're more than that.
hand.
I would say you have the domain.
The domain.
You're more than that.
It's that Indian god with many arms and hands. Speaking of religion again.
What it takes.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear more about some of that other work. The music is outstanding. We heard in our last segment. In fact, we'll play a little bit in this segment too, a little bit more of your song because I think it's worth not just listening to the beginning and the end, but just a little bit more in there. But tell us about some of the licensing and all the other cool things you're doing.
So we're trying to pontificate how we can change the landscape or the identity of Rock the Cause and branch out and reach more people, especially during, unprecedented times where we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know how reliable live events can be. So my idea was to start branching out in sync and licensing, which is to basically pitch music for film, television, commercial, and grow there,
And also have a portion of those funds go back to causes.
Yes, everything we do, we are a nonprofit, so we pride ourselves that everything we do, the portion of the proceeds are donated to a cause of the artist's choice. So we leave that open to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know more about it, you can go to the website, irockthecause.org, and learn about that. Now, Scotty, you also do some other cool things in addition to your label. You work with the High School for Recording Arts.
Yes, I do. I teach the business of music and media, and I lead the vocational discovery program.
You also just won the Vic Verne Award.
Yeah, I did.
Tell us about that.
That was a surprise, man. I've built a really close relationship with Ramsey County Workforce Solutions, and I'm a member of the Ramsey County Workforce Innovation Advisory Board, which means I meet with Ramsey County and we talk about how do we solve youth homelessness, how do we provide more employment opportunities for young people. But through that relationship with Ramsey County, we've been able to provide internships to about 60 high school for recording arts students over the past 4 years, and those students have earned collectively about $300,000 in wages, and they have been trained and mentored in communications occupations, which is a fast-growing segment. So a couple of weeks ago, I woke up and I had an email from Ling Becker, who is the head of Ramsey County Workforce Innovation, and they said they were giving me the Vic Verne Award this year. And it's an honor because the Vic Verne Award recognizes individuals in Ramsey County who have gone above and beyond in terms of educating and providing employment opportunity for young people. I was blown away. I did not expect it. And really, it's the young people did it. I mean, they worked those jobs all the way through COVID. And
well, what's exciting is how it's coming together in a community.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
That it's everyone plays a part.
yeah.
And without the Rock the Cause label, maybe some of those music wouldn't have gone to the next step. And you were there when it was the right time and the right place, and things that are sometimes even beyond what we understand and coming together in community. But I'm so glad that you were recognized for the good work that you're doing.
Yeah, me too. And it's something that now High School for Recording Arts and our higher ed division, Diverse Media Institute, we can say we have an award-winning vocational discovery program, which also means we got to tighten things up and be even better than before, which is a lot of responsibility. I mean, I carry a lot of responsibility, man. That's why it's great to have Kelsey around, because she helps carry that load so I can focus on the big picture. But and the young people worked these communications jobs virtually all through the pandemic.
I also want to learn a little bit more about Reconnect Rondo.
Yeah.
And when I was in graduate school, I lived on Marshall, so I was all part of that Rondo area. Loved living in that neighborhood, and that had a heartbreak. I mean, that was a scar.
Yes.
Where 94 came through and just ripped at the heart of that business district.
In every state in the country, So we're connected with Reconnect Rondo. We actually, do you want to talk a little bit about the documentary as well?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. A few years ago, I was the HSRA, the High School for Recording Arts liaison for St. Paul Almanac and SPNN, who made a award-winning documentary, Rondo Beyond the Pavement, with HSRA students, and it went on to be included in 8 or 9 different film festivals around the world. You can see Rondo Beyond the Pavement on Amazon, and a lot of people don't even know in the Twin Cities. So a lot of young people living in the Rondo community don't even know what Rondo is or what happened there.
Well, they might know about the community event that
Yeah, Rondo Days, yeah.
but not that it was a vital business street
Yeah.
and it was the heart of the
Yeah.
business district of the African American community in St.
Yeah,
Paul.
you hear a lot about Black Wall Street, and
Yeah.
that was really our Black Wall Street in Minnesota. And the Department of Transportation under Eisenhower, and in the early 60s, they decided to drive I-94 straight through the heart of the community, and it destroyed 300 Black-owned businesses, took away 700 Black-owned homes, and our students at HSRA, worked with Reconnect Rondo and the Yorth Report on a study where generational wealth that was stripped, over $300 million in generational wealth stripped. And High School for Recording Arts is a direct result of the poverty and the trauma that highway created in a prospering Black neighborhood.
And isn't it wonderful that music is part of the way to heal
It is.
and part of the way to bring
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
and understand and connect back to the community?
Yeah. So what we're doing with Reconnect Rondo is Rock the Cause is honored to partner with the nonprofit Reconnect Rondo, who is the organization that is leading the study to put a 21-acre land bridge over the top of I-94 that would be owned by the community, services for the community, parks, museums, Black-owned businesses, etc. And the High School for Recording Arts students are working with Reconnect Rondo, the community, and the engineers that would eventually build that bridge, to decide what goes on it and what is the vision for the future. Not about the people right now, but what does that bridge mean? What does that land bridge that reconnects the Rondo community? What does that look like for the next 7 generations? So our role in it is that we are facilitating the education side of it. So twice a week, we show up to meetings with Reconnect Rondo, with Rock the Cause sponsoring the teachers that are there who are licensed teachers, Daryl Young and Haben, who's a brilliant, both of them are just brilliant teachers, and we work with the students to help them understand communications and urban planning. And they make $15 an hour. They are W-2 employees of Reconnect Rondo, funded by the Minnesota Department of Transportation. And then Rock the Cause is providing the teaching side of it and working with teachers on that project. And it's a year-long contract.
Mousy, what does it mean to you to be part of this project?
It means a lot. I actually, it's strange for me because it's like they're literally stepping on oppressed people by clearing out these communities and paving highways. And what it represents for us as a country, for where we are, is just so big, and I don't feel it's talked about enough, really. So, I mean, I didn't know about it until I started working for Rock the Cause. if I'm
It's
being
part of the
honest.
paving over of a lot of things
Yeah.
in our history. When I teach ethics, the hardest thing for American students, because there's a lot of international students get it, but American students have a hard time with this systemic part of oppression and paving over communities in our history, because they're everything's personal in the Americans' world most of the time, and in U.S. citizens, it's just well, I didn't do anything. I was but this is bigger than that.
Yeah.
All the important things are bigger than that, for good or bad.
Absolutely. And for the folks out there who really don't understand what the Rondo community is or was or what's happening there, reconnectrondo.com, or you can find it at Reconnect Rondo on all social media, and it will really help you to understand the story and why this is so important, because, we've had a lot of controversy about tearing down Confederate statues and the healing of trauma and racism that they symbolize. And then I grew up in the Great Plains,
and they should go.
they should go. Yeah, and I grew
No
up in
question.
I grew up in the Great Plains, and I grew up seeing all these monuments that declare, the victory over the indigenous peoples, and it says, well, this is where we made peace with the Pawnee, or this is where we made peace with the Iroquois. No, this is where you stole their land from them. So why can't Reconnect Rondo? Why can't the land bridge be the new monument that says this is how we healed it all?
Now, I promised the audience that we were going to talk about Mississippi. We
Yeah.
didn't, but we will next segment.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice segue into what we can do to reconnect.
Yes.
And we can reconnect not only with Rondo, but we can reconnect with some really cool things that happened in Mississippi.
Yeah, we can.
That
Yeah.
you took a group of kids down
Yeah.
to explore. So
the Delta,
I want you to stay with us for our fourth segment and hear about a trip to Mississippi, which is really a trip to music, at the heart of the African American music, and,
Yes.
and how it rocked the world.
Yes. Yes.
So
true.
stay with us. It's a cool story. We'll be having both Scotty and Mousy and my cohort and co-host. This is Black Hole. Yes, with Mousy song.
Cosmic vampire. You're my timeless fascination.
Falling down, sideways walk, try to pick myself up. Red blooms pop, but aftershocks.
And welcome back to Connections Radio Show, where you're listening to music. We have music today. I know it's talk radio, but
Talk and music.
we've got kind of media, music, talk, cool stuff going on. And you are listening to Connections Radio Show, where we talk and listen to ideas that matter. And I'm Lori Fitz, your host. I have my co-host, Rick Bernardo, who has introduced us to Rock the Cause and brought Rock the Cause on April 9th. And if you missed that show, go back and listen to it. And has brought them today.
I did. Yeah. I'm to blame. But I want to get all the credit. So Scotty Harold, the CEO and founder of Rock the Cause, and say something about Kelsey McMahon.
Oh, she can introduce herself.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kelsey McMahon. I'm also a musician that goes by the moniker Mousy. So you can find my music on Mousy Music. Check out my Facebook page.
And I do have to quickly, David Bowie was part of your
Okay.
inspiration. Tell us about how David Bowie also inspired you.
I mean, fun fact, because I actually forgot to tell you this the other day. I share a birthday with the late David Bowie. So I've been obsessed with him since I was a kid. I've watched Labyrinth more times than is healthy, probably.
Now I'm
yeah.
seeing Mouse Woman go through a labyrinth.
It's my demise. My demise is the maze. So Mousy, there are a lot of reasons why I landed on that name, but one of the aspects of it is it connected me with David Bowie, who is one of my heroes and inspirations.
And the line from the song?
The girl with the mousy hair.
There you go. There you go. Now, I did promise the audience that we'd talk about Mississippi. So, Scott, you went down to Mississippi with a group on a pilgrimage of sorts. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we did. I got back earlier this week. We were gone for about 7 to 8 days with High School for Recording Arts students, and we went to the Mississippi Delta. One of the instructors and a good friend of mine, Daryl Young, at High School for Recording Arts, started the Mississippi Delta Blues Camp as a way to teach young people about the history of America's music. And so we took about 8 students down to the Mississippi Delta. And during that trip, I was blessed to be able to teach them about the diaspora of African music, the music that came here with the slave trade, that became the music of people working in the fields and the fields haulers and the slaves in the fields. And out of that horrible and traumatic history in our country, but also the trauma of slavery, a music was born that conquered the world and changed everything. And so I was really able to take the students through the ancient African music, the instruments, how it got to the Mississippi Delta, to Clarksdale, which is really considered, the birthplace of American music, how that transformed into the field haulers, into gospel, into jazz, eventually into the Delta blues, then rock and roll, and all the way up to hip hop. And it was a beautiful experience to be able to work with those young people doing that.
How many were with you?
We had 8 of them with us, and not only was it a musical pilgrimage, but we visited a lot of museums while we were there.
Did they play instruments? Did you work with them with instruments?
Oh yeah, we brought instruments along with us, and I remember there was my friend Daryl, his sister. The blues camp is actually on Daryl's family's land outside of Clarksdale. There's about 21 acres there, and it's beautiful. And there was a 10-year-old girl that was there that's Daryl's niece, and she wanted to learn to play the blues. So she picked up an an acoustic guitar, and I sat and taught her how to play a 12-bar. And,
my gosh.
and she was so happy. And it was kind of funny because she's like, well, now what do I do? I said, well, set some lyrics to this. And she goes, well, what do I sing about? And I said, well, it's the blues, man. Are you sad about anything? She goes, no, I'm happy. So we had just had tacos, you know, and
So
so
she
I,
was sad she was done eating her tacos?
Yeah, so we started. I said the blues can be joyful too. So we started singing. I just had a plate of tacos. I'm going to get me some more. You know.
Dun, dun, dun.
I want some cheese and
Yeah.
tomato.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
And we just did a plug. Oh, good.
But I got a text from her mother the other day saying that her daughter is just, her confidence has just grown so much from that trip. And
that's wonderful.
we did wonderful stuff. We went to the Emmett Till Museum on Money Road. And
That's a heartbreak.
It was a heartbreak. And we met Mayor Thomas of Glendora. We went to the B.B. King Museum. We went to the Delta Museum of Soul. We went to the Stax Museum. And we went to the Good Reverend Al Green's church on Sunday morning and saw the Reverend Al.
Oh,
And the gospel choir and the good Reverend Al Green, preaching a sermon from the pulpit, and that was incredible. And then we drove back to Minneapolis.
He was glad to see you, I bet.
What were the kids' reactions to that?
You know, some of the kids, and it wasn't something where the high school was endorsing religion. We certainly, High School for Recording Arts was not that. We gave the kids the choice to go in or not and really explained that we were going in to see a legend. Some of the kids were just blown away by it because they'd never seen that real, true Southern gospel music. And they knew who Al Green was, kind of periphery. And some of the other kids just kind of stayed out in the van. It wasn't really their thing. So,
well, talking about going
Yeah.
to see something cool,
yeah.
want to make sure that folks know about Cassandra Cole's album release.
Yeah, sure. Cassandra Cole's album release steps. It's her debut album is being released on Rock the Cause Records on May 6th with the concert, the release show May 7th at KJ's Hideaway in downtown St. Paul. Tickets are on sale. You can visit irockthecause.org or search Cassandra Cole Music.
And what we'll do, we've got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Why don't we go around and encourage people to be thinking about music coming up for Rock the Cause?
Yeah.
Listen to
Mousy Music?
Mousy Music for sure.
For sure.
Take a look at the Black Hole.
Yes, please do.
And coming up for Rock the Cause is working with the Rondo Days.
Coming up for Rock the Cause, we'll continue to work with Reconnect Rondo, but we got a new single we're working on with the 3-time Grammy Award-winning Sounds of Blackness called Juneteenth Celebration. That's going to be dropping in the next few days. So we'll
Really
be
excited about
Yep,
that.
that's going to hit. And then St. Paul Peterson, the legendary St. Paul Peterson of Prince alumni, and The Time is working on us with his new record, Break On Free, and that's going to be coming. So we got all sorts of cool stuff to follow at irockthecause.org.
Oh, so excited. Be sure to go to irockthecause.org to listen to more.
Yeah.
Any quick summary station before we listen to some music as we...
Just about the deepest connections sometimes happen apart from normal words, like music, arts, deep expression. We have a lot of languages where we need to go.
Yeah.
And there's so much variety with I Rock the Cause.
Yeah.
And I love that it spans young people and causes and cool places to go. So we're going to let the last 30 seconds be given to Cassandra Cole in her music.
Thank you.
Break